What's up guys, TheMerryGamer here, and welcome back to Cities Skylines. First of all, I'd like to say what happened at the end of the last episode, and as you can see at the map looks a tiny bit different. If you have a good eye, you would notice it. But I'll go through what happened and what's been going on. So, at the end of last episode, we were building over here, and the game froze and crashed. I actually had to cut the episode from when I was talking because it actually goes back to my desktop, so I just cut it from the point where the game actually froze and I realized it. But because of that, I actually lost all the progress from last recording session. So that was the last 3 episodes, so that was 28, 29 and 30. I completely lost the progress of those episodes, but as you can see, I pretty much got everything back to how it was with a few little extra edits. I've actually decided to do a few little things differently, so I'm going to run through them. So as you can see here, I've actually moved the incineration plants that were along here on the little, we had a little like really shitty road here. I decided to upgrade the road to make all these nice big wide highways pretty much, and moved it more inland so it doesn't affect any residents. And we kind of connected this back around, and then I made a bridge that connects over here. So the reason why I did this a tiny bit differently, the roundabout, is just to break the traffic up a bit, and it actually has worked really well. If I go here, actually let's hit this and fast forward. If I hit here and have a look at traffic in this area, it's helped the traffic flow here. It's kind of increased it a tiny bit here and here, but the traffic flow is always going to be really heavy here until the ore is no longer in the ground. So we're going to keep on mining in this area pretty much until there's no more ore, and I've pretty much got this all marked out. Besides down here, we'll expand into there near the end. But yeah, so I got this done, and I decided not to do the train station this time. I feel like there's no real need. Like when I was building it, like, and when you looked at it, it looked really choppy, looked really shit. It didn't look amazing, and it was only like a temporary sort of train link. It was, you know, because it was only really for the industrial trains to get in and out to take the pressure off the roads. But to be honest, we're not going to be, the game isn't, probably this series isn't going to be lasting that much longer for that to happen. The reason why is because originally I wanted this series to get to the point where I've experienced everything in the game. We've got to the point where we've closely experienced everything, and a lot of it was riding off population, and the point is that we need to get our population up to 65,000 to reach the last milestone. I'm actually a tiny bit higher from when I froze. I think when I froze I was roughly just over 55,000. I went up to about 60,000 or so because I kind of lost track of time whilst I was still trying to get the population in here to grow as rapidly as I'd want. But this episode, as promised, we're going to look at the airport, because the airport is one of the final things, one of the last pieces of the puzzle that we really need to get in here. We also need to upgrade our rail system. We need to kind of actually upgrade it so it goes down into the Mahogany Hills, and we don't really need to do too much here because it's quite simple. But yeah, we need it so the line actually extends out this way, so we pretty much can delete. This could stay. Royal Tonnage Wells, we probably want the line to go down into here and wrap around. And then we probably need to, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to have to figure out somehow how to do it. But airport, as I said, the airport is the thing that we were going to focus on. And last time we noticed, the annoying thing is slope too steep. Slope too steep. There is no area where this is not steep. And we can't put the airport where I wanted to put it, which is a shame. I really wanted the airport there, but unfortunately can't be there. But I did notice at the Isle de Salford, we actually could get the airport in here because it's all flat land. So we're going to actually put the airport in the center of Isle de Salford, and the way we're going to do it is we're going to grab this road here that links into the city, and I'm just going to drag it all the way up here. So if I just do a straight line there, then let's see how we can do this. Let's go in here, transport plane. Is that still probably a bit too, see, we can put an airport there. I kind of want the airport somewhere over here, so the way we're going to have to do it is that we're going to have to grab this road and bring the road a bit more down this way, and then if I grab the airport, we might actually build 2 airports, like 2 runways next to each other, because we're going to put one right here, and we can put the other on the other side there. How does that sound? That looks pretty cool. To have like an airport running through the middle. I might actually put it like here, right at the edge of the place. So if I do that, that's 2 big airports. That's 300 grand just gone, just like that. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to grab this pipe here and run water up here, then down here. Then this area needs power. So the way we're going to have to run power is we're going to have to run power all the way from up here and then to there. Then that should power the entire airport. And we've got like kind of like a dual airport sort of system. So this is some sort of fancy way into the city. And what we're going to do as well is that it's not going to be a heavy traffic sort of road. I'm not too fussed the fact that it's not going to be. So we can actually link it straight into here. I want it to link similar locations. So if I go here, just rotate this a tiny bit better. I want to link it in roughly around space already occupied. So if I do that, so if I link that in there, then we could do a little road that links back in there. So then it kind of has like full access for these areas to kind of connect in, say if they want to go straight from the airport. But there we go, that's where our airport's going to be. We're going to go like a dual airport sort of system. So that's not too bad, and I'm kind of happy with the way it looks. Originally it wasn't the place I planned to have the airport. But you know, these things happen, these things change. We've got negative numbers coming into the city at the moment. That's okay. That's probably because we just put in this and we probably just annoyed a few people because of obviously this, but don't worry, they'll eventually fill back up again. We need to get the demand going, so that's really all this episode is getting the demand going. I'm not sure how many more episodes we have left in the series. I'm thinking we might be able to push it to around about 35 episodes. At the moment, it really depends on how quickly we can get the this milestone. If we get this milestone this episode, then we might only have 2 episodes left or so. I really wouldn't mind pushing the city to its limits before doing that. But then also, the problem with the series at the moment is that after that, it's really a lot of sitting around waiting, kind of similar how it is now. Is we're literally just sitting around waiting for the milestone to happen, where we get the monuments and we can kind of have a look at a few of them and maybe place a few around the city. I do have a few more of these special buildings. We haven't unlocked all of them, but it's going to take us such a long time to unlock them all. See, we've got 2 new ones here, so we're going to put in another new one. Where can we put this one? I'm thinking putting this one somewhere along the edge. Like if I put like that there. And what's this building? This is the Grand Mall. Well, we have to have the Grand Mall near the good old CBD, so I'll put that there as well. So then, and then we have this one here, which is the Grand Library. A library. Where should we put the library? Maybe, let's put the library like, oh, space already occupied. Okay, let's go. Oh yeah, it's already occupied, that's right. I put it, where can I put you? It seems reasonable. Maybe put like the library somewhere down here or something, because I wouldn't mind this having all residents, but again, we need the numbers, we need the people to come in and kind of claim the area. So I'm actually gonna just like zone in all of this area. So if I grab all that, we're just gonna zone, like this is all gonna turn into residential area. Let's just zoom in a tiny bit and let's mark this up right. So let's grab you. Let's go that way with it. And then let's go that way with it. So I'd like this all to be residential, all those areas. We got this all residential and that all residential. We have this as a small little residence. I kind of wanted to have this all as one big like residential area, but I just don't think so we're going to have the time to do that. If I was to do that, I would have to kind of sit back off camera, because for me to get back up to the standards that we were before the lost footage, or well, not the lost footage, more to say just the freeze, you know, I pretty much sat down for another 45 minutes to an hour getting everything back up to the standard that it was. So that's the annoying thing. And oh, we can see planes. We actually can see planes coming in. Kind of lagging in, but that's so cool. We got planes. It's awesome. Actually can see like loads of planes flying around. That is really, really cool. We're getting a couple of planes like every now and then. It would be interesting to see the numbers. Isn't there like a tourist one? I'm pretty sure. Is that the no, that's just people. I'm pretty sure there was a way of checking. Oh yeah, is it transport? So how many? So we're getting 4 tourists per week. That's not too bad. We're not getting too many. Obviously, the metro is the biggest used by anyone. But yeah, we never set up a bus line. I was never really keen on the bus lines personally. But as you can see, we're getting really, really close to that 65,000. We'll get the monuments, and we'll have a little look at the monuments this episode as well. And then I reckon after that, we can look into potentially shutting down the city. What I want to do is my final episode. It's going to be split into 2 parts. So the final episode is going to be 2 episodes. So if looking at it, we could do, if we can have a look at monuments, depending on how many monuments there are, we can have a little fiddle around with them and have a little look-see and see. But then maybe the next 2 episodes after that, I'll make a save, and then what we can do is that we could just try and test the game to see how far we can push the city before it breaks. And the first thing I want to mess with is taxes. I want to see how far I can push taxes before people just leave. And we're going to test commercial people first. And hopefully we can get a good reaction out of it all. So we're getting closer and closer. What are these guys complaining about? They're probably sick, I think. Or like noise pollution. Citizens are sick. Yeah. You're right next to a big ore industrial plant, so that kind of doesn't surprise me. I wouldn't mind zoning in the rest of this as industrial, so we can do that. And that can just fill in when it wants to. We're actually finally, for a second there, I saw a little hint of blue. That's the first time I've seen a bit of commercial demand for quite some time. But I'm happy to see that the roundabout was a good choice. I feel like the traffic flow down here, I know the traffic flow everywhere else is going to be, like, yeah, it's a bit heavy here, I guess. And at this these intersections really should have like roundabouts, I guess. Really, really heavy. Like, I think, like, I'm pretty happy. Like, when I look at the way I've designed the city and the way we've done it, I feel like we've done reasonably well. I don't feel like we've messed up too badly. If I was to change a few things, I don't know, maybe, I don't know how to change it. I prefer to have, probably a different location. I wouldn't mind being a bit more up here, I think. I think up here would have been nicer than down here. Because if you had this little area here, we could have turned that into like a dam and all that sort of. It could have been really interesting actually doing that. But you know, that could be maybe a second season. I don't know if I'm going to do a second season of this game, but we're definitely going to have a little break from it. Kind of similar to Prison Architect. Prison Architect's a game that eventually is going to make its way back around. I do really enjoy that game, and I've actually had a few people recently making comments and asking about Prison Architect. And that game will be returning. I'm just waiting for the game's update a tiny bit more and more, just so there's a bit more stuff in the game, so it feels worth going back to. Otherwise, I feel like I'm just repeating and doing all the same stuff every time. So in a second here or two, we're going to hit that 65. There it is. There's that 65. So it's going to pop up at the end of this turn. And then we should have the milestone pop up. I was pretty sure it was at 65,000, was it not? Yep, there it is. So it pops up there. Heavenly City. So we've hit that, and there's no more milestones. So we unlocked the last block and monuments. So fantastic. So we can close that, and let's just close this as well. And we'll buy our last tile, even though we don't really need to buy our last tile. So we'll purchase this one up here, and it gives us another achievement. And now we can't buy any more tiles, unfortunately, but that's okay. Now let's have a look at monuments, because we can't afford any of them, unfortunately. So what's this one here? Space elevator. People near the near and far travel to the city to see the space elevator. This means a huge influx of tourists who also like to spend money whilst visiting. Costs $1.5 million. And what else is this one? I don't know what this one is. Go away. So this one is the fusion power plant. How do you unlock this one? The power of the stars is within your grasp. On the energy problems of yesterday. So what is this, like some sort of ultimate power sort of thing? Noise. Oh yeah, power output 16. Wow. Okay, so that's quite a lot of megawatts. What are these? So what was this speciality? This was just like a tourist influx. So all these bring obviously something special to the city. So what's this one? The Eden Project. So the Eden Project is a huge glass house, perfect for vast gardens, full of exotic fruits and plants. It greatly increases the city profile, making land in the city area more valuable. We've got the medical center research. Facility that works find cures and diseases and alignments. So it's just really good medicine for this town. And this final one here isn't popping up for me just yet. The Hadron Collider. Okay, there we go. So again, fired. Okay, that's pretty cool. Shame that we haven't got them all unlocked, and it's a shame that it's incredibly expensive. Like, did it tell me how much these are? So upkeep. So that one's 650. This one probably the Hadron Collider. I reckon will be expensive. That's only 800,000. You were 650. You were 850. And you're 1 million. But this is 1.5. But we can't afford that. That's a shame. That's a bit of a shame. But oh well. You know, we weren't obviously meant to mess with the monuments, but that doesn't really bother me too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a save of this game quickly, and then we're going to end off this episode. And next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to do some stress testing. Over the next 2 episodes, we're going to do some stress testing, and let's see how far we can push this game to the point that our whole city crumbles. And that is how we're going to end off this series. So as usual, guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you'll have an awesome day, and I'll see you all in the next one. So catch you later, guys.